Hi everyone, my name is Annette Story and I will be showing you how to make pillowcase dresses for little girls on behalf of Tau Beta Omega chapter of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. You should be able to find the instructions on the Tau Beta Omega website on Facebook or Instagram. First thing you'll need is a pillowcase. You can use a standard size pillowcase or a king size, doesn't really matter. You can make different size dresses. You'll need scissors, you'll need pins, a sewing machine, and bias tape. And you can see that on the inside it's folded on each edge, and then we'll just fold it over and iron it to make the actual finished piece on the dress. You'll need elastic, and it needs to be 1/4 inch with elastic. It could be black or white, it doesn't matter. Just need to have 6-inch lengths of elastic. So you can choose any thread color that you want for the dress. I just tried to find colors that were complementary to the pattern or the fabric. If you have any rickrack or embellishments, lace or any sort of embellishments on hand, you can use those also to decorate the bottom hem of your dress or the very top of your dress. First, you want to cut the sewn end off of the top of your pillowcase, and it will end up being maybe 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch that you cut off. So we're going to fold the pillowcase in half lengthwise with the top that you just cut off on the top end. And you want to place it on a surface where you can cut it. We're going to cut the armhole that will be about 4 inches long and about 2 inches wide in an oval or a rounded shape. It should look something like this. So I have the dress laid out on my ironing board and the top of the dress is here. I'm going to fold down the top piece and just fold one little edge over on the end, and then I'm going to fold it again, and I want it to be about 3/8 of an inch. We'll iron this down, and then we'll do the exact same thing on the opposite side. So we'll just fold it and then fold it again so that we have 3/8 inch space left. So now I'm going to edge stitch a casing on the top of the dress. So the front and the back will have this little casing for the elastic to go through, and that's what I'm going to sew now. Now we have the stitch on one side, on the front and the back. You can see it on the casing, and I'll do the opposite side of the dress. To put a safety pin in the end of my elastic so that I can feed it through the casing like this. And at some point, your elastic that is much shorter than the length of the top of the dress is going to disappear into the casing. You want to just get a pin and secure it so that it doesn't continue to go into the casing. So I have the elastic inside the casing and I've pinned both ends, and now I'll just sew a little stitch to secure the elastic inside the casing on each end. And you want to do that for both ends, the front and the back. So now I have the elastic sewn into the casings in the front and the back of the dress at the neckline. Next, you'll need to get a 38-inch length of bias tape, and that's what we're going to use to make the armholes that will extend into the straps or strings for the dress. I'm going to iron my bias tape in half. I'm just going to fold it in half and then iron it so that I have a crease in it to make it easier to pin to the armholes and then sew along that edge. So I'm taking the folded piece of bias tape, and you can see that I folded it. It's already folded, but I put a crease in it. And now I'm just laying it on the edge of the armhole and where the elastic ends. And I'm pinning it in place so that it's easy to sew. And I placed the midpoint at the base of the armhole. And I've secured it onto the dress so that I can sew it. And the leftover strings, or the extra string, will serve as the ties for the dress, and you want that to go up towards the elastic edge of the dress. So the dress is finished. That's all that there is to it. You have to just sew the bias tape onto the armholes, and then you can tie the strings up to keep the dress on, and that's it. Thanks so much for donating your time and your talent to make dresses for Souls for Souls and for supporting TBO Omega Chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.